Guys, before we get started, just want to take a quick moment to thank Deer Camp Coffee and Yeti for everything they do to help keep us awake and energized for the whole show to keep you guys entertained. Make sure you subscribe and stick around to all BowHunterPlanet stuff so you can get into chances to win things. And hey, let's have some fun.
The BHP podcast is presented by BowHunterPlanet.com. Join the hunt.
Support for the BowHunterPlanet podcast is provided by HHA Sports, Cold Steel Knives, Scott Archery, Burris Optics, Element Outdoors, Reveal Cellular Trail Cams, Deer Camp Coffee. Additional support is provided by Yeti.
Everyone, welcome to the BowHunterPlanet podcast. Myself, Tim Mazarana, tonight, along with Jamie Noteboom and Kevin Conlon. And really excited. We got special guests here, Lindsay and Carson Corey. They're with Final Draw, and Lindsay and Carson, really excited to talk to you guys, figure out, and tell our viewership here what you guys are all about, how to find you. So if you wouldn't mind starting off by just kind of telling us a little bit about Final Draw and the show and how you guys got started.
Yeah, man, thank you. We're excited to be on, and pretty much we started this thing, several years ago. Me and Lindsay were talking about it and wanted to kind of do something, so we picked up a camera and just started filming, and did not have any clue what it was going to be like trying to get into this industry. It's so tough, going from filming your own hunts and trying to get that first, get the footage down, and then after that, trying to get somewhere to use it. So it's been a journey, man. It's been fun, but to say we have been super blessed to be where we are is an understatement.
That's awesome, dude. So do you guys grow up hunting? What's kind of your personal background growing up hunting? How did you guys learn? Who taught you?
Yeah. So for me, I started hunting when I was really young. I killed my first deer when I was 5. Dad got me into it. Being from North Carolina, you can hunt at pretty much any age. As long as you have a license, you have a chaperone with you under a certain age. So I've just always been in the outdoors. I've absolutely loved it from the time go. Old enough to walk in the woods, follow Dad around. So for me, it's been something I've always done. We live here on a farm and walk out the back door and go hunting. So we've been super blessed there. And then I met Lindsay, and actually we met.
I'm completely opposite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Complete opposite. I grew up, no one in my family hunts. Not one person. My dad, he'd hunt squirrel, but I mean, that was about it. Nobody deer hunted or anything like that. And I had friends, we live out in the country, so we're all just country. And I had all my girlfriends, my best friends, they all deer hunted. And I was always like, why are you wasting your time in a tree? Those poor deer, I was one of those people. And then I started, me and Carson, we grew up as across the street neighbors, so we've known each other our whole life. Our parents lived right across the street from one another. And then we always hung out, but we, I guess, just started talking. And as soon as we started to seriously date, deer season rolled around. And it was the only time I could see him was in a tree. And so I decided to just go with him. And then I ended up shooting a buck that he had on his trail camera that he wanted. And then after that, I haven't looked back since. It's just, I was just game on from that day. So
that's awesome. And no offense to you, Lindsay, but Carson, you kept her after she shot your buck, so she's got to mean something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, she's been super successful. And when we first started, when we were dating, I was like, oh, see if she can shoot. And I remember the first time she shot, it was 100 yards with a rifle, and she put 2 bullets in the same hole just about. I was like, well, that's luck. And then after watching her shoot and then picking up a bow, she was doing these things that, she'd make a shot and I was like, that's beginner's luck. And that's when I realized, I was like, man, this girl can shoot. And I'm not just saying it because she's my wife, but just natural talent. I mean, there's a lot of girls out there that get into it, for the TV side of things. She's in it because she's a killer, man. And once I realized she could, you there?
Yeah.
We can hear you. We just lost video.
Gotcha. Once I realized that she could shoot, I decided to keep her for a little bit.
And a little bit turned into a lot of it. So no, that's awesome.
A little bit into a lot of it.
I gotta say, that's not a story that I don't think we've heard before with couples that hunt together, is like growing up across the street from each other and like kind of first date, like, or when, like you said, when you're getting very serious, going to the range and doing some hunting, man. That's a pretty cool story to tell. I love that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So you guys kind of, Lindsay, I know you didn't grow up in the hunting world. Carson, you kind of did. What kind of created the idea for Final Draw? How did that come about?
So we started, me and Lindsay were filming and just trying to figure out what we were doing, just getting our foot in the door. And a guy had asked if we wanted to be the husband and wife team on his show. And it was a local regional show. And we decided to give it a try. And after doing it for about a year, it was like, this is something we could do on our own. And I actually met a guy that ended up partnering with us, and super great guy. He just ended up going in with me, and we started this thing and started off on the Hunt channel. I don't know if you remember that. It was a channel.
Yeah.
Back in it was on the network for maybe 2 years, I think, on Dish or Direct One. So we started there as Southern Trophy Hunters. We left that and went to Pursuit Channel for 3 or 4 seasons. And that's when as Final Draw. And then Sportsman Channel came to us, and we decided to go to Sportsman. So we've been there since season 3 or season 4 on Sportsman's Channel. And we just aired season 5, and actually it's still airing. It'll start back in January, our re-airs.
Awesome. So Sportsman Channel's just one of the platforms, from my understanding, that people can find you on. Where else can they find you?
So Amazon Prime has been growing really well for us. We started there 2 years ago, I think, and that's done really well. Now, because we're on Sportsman, our seasons hit Amazon Prime a year behind. We have to hold them for a little while until they get done airing there, and then they go to Amazon Prime. So they're always just a little bit behind. But I think we have half of season 4 maybe up on Amazon Prime right now, and we're starting to get a lot of viewership from there. So I guess that's kind of the way the world's headed.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's all about the kind of the streaming instant. You can do all that stuff on your phone now, which makes it very easy. I remember like back in the day when we first started, we were on the tip of the iceberg when it came to like YouTube videos and that kind of thing. And gosh, it's become such a normal part of people's lives to just, stream something on their phone when they have an extra 5 or 10 minutes. So what great success, man. I'm happy for you guys. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, we've been blessed, man. God's opened a lot of doors for us. I can't deny that one bit. It's honestly amazing for us to be able to be where we are right now. So very thankful on that.
Awesome, man. Yeah. And I think we did a little talking before we started the podcast, but you guys got a couple kids. How many kids do you guys have?
We got 2. Yeah.
Cool. How old are they? Young?
5 and soon to be 3.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's kind of how I got 2 boys that are about 21 months apart, and what a blessing that is in of itself. And you guys got the best years to come with teaching them how to grow up in the outdoors and everything. So that's such a great opportunity for you guys to be able to do that too. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So you got that 5-year-old hunting with you?
Oh yeah, she's so we got a 5-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old, or getting ready to be 3-year-old boy. And my daughter, she calls herself the camera girl. I mean, she films. She does a legit. I mean, she's good.
Yeah, she filmed a doe hunt of mine just this past season. So.
And I asked her about halfway through the season. I said, "Charlie, are you gonna kill a deer?" And she said, "I don't know if I'll be able to hunt." She said, "I do I spend most of my time filming, so I really don't get a chance to hunt." I said, "God, you sound like my camera."
Says every cameraman ever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I'll tell you, man, when the rains kind of get passed down over time, like I fully expect like TikTok and that kind we're gonna go from these like hour-long episodes back in the day when you're watching public TV shows to the online streaming to like TikTok, where all of a sudden your episodes are like 30 seconds long and just incorporate dances.
You want to see that.
That's awesome, man. So tell us a little bit about 2020, how has 2020 been for you guys? I know everybody's kind of, 2020 has been kind of a crazy year, but more talking about how the deer season's been going for you. Like, what has your season turned out to be? Can you share with us any of the success stories that you guys have had this year?
Yeah, it's been 2020.
Oh, it's 2020.
Yeah. No, we've done all right. It's been a grind for sure this year. Last year we're coming off a phenomenal year, and normally when that happens, you kind of brace yourself, at least in the TV world, to get ready to ride the struggle bus for a year. So, but no, this year's been pretty decent. Out of state's been really good. I just got back from Kansas and Illinois, and Kansas, I saw something that was probably the coolest thing we've ever recorded. And I was sitting in a stand and rattled up 2 bucks, and I was looking to my left, and as soon as I got done, put the horns up, I look up, and a mature buck starts coming down the creek, and probably 70 yards, all of a sudden I hear a stick break to my right, and there's a buck at 15 yards, and he's looking through us because he's up on a little hill. He's looking through us down at this other buck. I said, well, this is perfect. He starts charging down after the other buck, so I draw back, try to stop him, shoot him, and he takes off running. Well, when he does, he runs right past the other buck that was coming up. The other buck snort wheezes at him. This deer slams on brakes, turns around, bristles up, and comes in to fight the deer.
No way.
I mean, it was unreal. And I was able to get a second shot. So, but
when was it? When was this? Was this like late October, or what time frame are you talking?
First week of November.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
So our kind of like you guys, it's been I've been on the struggle bus this year, and we didn't hunt, or I didn't hunt the last week of October and the first week of November, and I'm pretty sure I missed the rut, and I'm pretty sure you just confirmed it for me.
Oh yeah. What I saw honestly, and traveling, is everything was getting ready to break loose, and then it hit 70 degrees across the entire Midwest and the East, and it just shut everything down. I mean, we pretty much missed the entire part of the rut that we're never getting back due to the nighttime movement and the heat. So,
2020.
Yeah, it's 2020. Yeah. That's right. So, I'm a big believer in everybody watches moon phases and stuff like that, and I believe all that has a play in it. But my biggest thing is I feel like weather trumps all.
Yeah.
You can have a good front come in, and it doesn't matter to me on the moon phase or whatever. I'm going hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same way if it's absolute perfect moon phase and everything else, and it's 75 degrees during November, it's going to slow things down. So I feel like weather's the number one thing out there that kind of whether I'm stand or not.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. I think that's, from an action standpoint, seeing bucks moving around or seeing deer movement, period. I think that's the number one thing, are those fronts coming in and out. We had the
worst
event.
opening gun day ever.
Yeah. The worst. So I did a ton of bow hunting, wasn't successful. And this year is the first year, believe it or not, I'm 39 years old. The first gun hunt I have ever done. Right. You hear so many stories about gun hunting and how amazing it is, and it's the right time, the rut's going on, and the weather's amazing, and just everything. And my first gun hunt, and I don't know if this storm system moved through you guys in North Carolina where you guys were at, or wherever you guys were hunting at that point in time, but we had this system come in that was 60-mile-an-hour winds, warm, and rain. And it was the worst experience, like gun hunting opener ever, and it was my first one.
A deer.
You know what we call that down here in the South is a hurricane.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's something that doesn't really occur up in Michigan, all that often, but just so happened that the good Lord had a different plan for my deer season this year, and really, to be honest with you, with the level of meat in my freezer. So
I think I had like 8 heavy duty tent stakes, and it still almost blew away.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. So you guys, it sounds like you guys kind of travel all over the place. You guys primarily do whitetail, or what's your primary species that you guys do?
So whitetail's number one. We do bear and turkey every year.
Moose.
Yeah, I've done moose and did a Arizona Coues deer hunt this year, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, whitetails, man, they're tough to beat for me. I know Lindsay's the same way. You know, I can look at elk and you know, that's great. I've hunted elk before, but to me, there's no whitetail that's the same. None of them look the same. None of them act the same. None of them think the same. And it's really breaking it down and trying to beat him at his game is my main goal, and that's what gets me fired up while I'm in the woods.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is Dave. Sorry, I'm on, but for some reason my video won't come on. But I do have a question. When you talked earlier about you know, the struggle of creating the show, can you like break into that a little bit more? Because I know a lot of shows or people out there and they're trying to make a show and they really want to. It's something they really want to do. And I mean, I have my advice for things like that, but it's more important for someone like you to give some advice since you guys have something like what you have and you've built it up. What advice can you give people on that part of it?
If you hear no, keep going.
Yeah.
Don't take that for an answer.
Yeah, honestly, from what I've seen, just in this industry, everybody gets into the filming side of it and the TV show side, thinking that, hey, we're going to get sponsorship dollars, we're going to get paid, you know, we're going to make money, and that's all good and well, but that is not in these days, that is not a reality. At least for the first 3 or 4 years. I mean, it's a grind, and you know, where we've been very blessed, but at the same time, you know, you have to grind it out. And the main thing I would give guys, I tell them to film everything, you know, film it and start. And, you know, YouTube wasn't huge when we started. These other outlets weren't big when we started. So really it was, you know, trying to film it and get it out there. Now you have the availability of YouTube and these other resources that you can film stuff and put it out there and start growing your following. And that makes things a lot easier. But at the same time, in this day and age, it makes things a lot more cluttered. So if I were to give anybody advice, it just be consistent, you know, stay at it and just try to make connections. That's the main thing in this industry, honestly, is the connections and having a product that people want to see and being genuine.
Great advice.
You know, with us, we don't make up anything. You know, we kind of roll as it goes, and it's not, you know, we don't have the prettiest show. You can watch it. Our producer, matter of fact, he came from Bone Collector, so it's a fast-paced style, fun show, but it's not the prettiest, you know, because everything that we do is the way it happens. You know, we're not going to go back and recreate stuff. If you see it from us, I mean, it's pretty much how it went down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think we're going on 11 years, Tim. It's been 11 years for us.
Yeah, it's been 11 years.
And I will attest to the grind part of it. I mean, being you know, getting it done, doing what you say you're going to do, you know, not worrying about sponsorships. I mean, to me, that was always the advice I gave to people, was just don't worry about sponsors, just do your thing. And if it works out, they'll come to you. It's just a matter of time, but you have to grind to get that. Because if you can't hold your own value, it's not going to work. But the other thing I would suggest, and I would even say it to groups like yourself, is collaboration. A lot of people miss that part of everything in this industry for some reason. I don't know why. And I'm actually speaking to this at the ATA Summit coming up here for ATA show. But collaboration in this industry is very low. And I feel like that's one of the biggest missteps of our industry, is just that people aren't collaborating and doing more stuff together and trying to connect somehow with collaborations, only because you then not only share audiences, but, you know, those audiences, you might find something new in there that, you know, snowballs to a different area and tries to grow. So definitely, you know, if you're already out there and you have a show and you have a network, a website, doesn't matter. Collaboration's key, I think, to, you know, overall value and success.
Well, right. And you nailed it. And I hate, you know, I'm going to step out on a limb and say this, and I'm probably going to get my hand slapped, but I really don't care. We try to be as honest as we can. This industry on the TV side of things is super cliquish. I'm all for, we want to work with other shows as much as like you said, collaboration. That's our goal, is to try to grow this industry and grow the sport, not the industry. Try to grow awareness for hunting and making it fun. You know, that's what it is. We need to get back to the roots of, this is a great sport to enjoy with family and friends and a pastime. You know, growing up, the way everything works, we have a big walk-in cooler that we keep at our shop here on the farm. And Dad always had the cooler open to anybody in our area. And it would be 30 or 40 guys would put their deer in there, and we'd hang them up for 2 weeks. And then every Sunday or every second Sunday, we would get together at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I still remember this. I mean, we still do it, but I remember when I was so barely walking, but we would get together at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. We'd have a big breakfast. Everybody that has deer in there would, it'd be 30 guys there, cook a big breakfast, and we would take those deer from the cooler. And by lunchtime, everybody had their own sections. Like there'd be guys out there skinning, guys quartering, guys deboning, guys cleaning, guys grinding burger. And we would go from 50 or 60 deer at 6 in the morning to lunchtime. Everything will be cubed, hamburgers, vacuum sealed, your tenderloins and everything else. So that's just that's a community coming together, enjoying the sport. And
that's
something
fantastic.
And I was the next door neighbor across the street thinking, what the heck are they doing?
Crazy guy. I'm never, ever, ever dating him.
Hey, I did say that. My mom would suggest several times, hey, go hang out with Carson. No, Mama, no. And here I am.
Lindsay, were they drinking beer with that breakfast?
I'm sure they were.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. That's Dave hit it, and you hit it as well, Carson. Like there's a big community aspect to hunting, right? When you share a passion with somebody, it just speaks volumes, and you can create a relationship in a matter of 10 seconds when you can connect on that level. And I think that's probably one of the most amazing things within this sport that you don't really get within a lot of other sports, because there's that competitiveness. Who's going to win? Who's not? Hunting, it's different, right? It's a sport, but there's a different mentality to what's successful and what's not successful. And I think that's a great life lesson that you guys are sharing in regards to community and collaboration and all that kind of stuff. So do you guys have like a most memorable moment in the show, a most memorable hunt that you guys have been on?
Yes.
What's yours? Go for it.
So I think my most memorable that I always think about is when I killed my state record buck with you. It was the day after Thanksgiving, like 6 years ago? 7 years ago? And it was 17 degrees.
Ooh.
That's cold for where you guys are at.
Yeah.
Yeah, to y'all it's probably like a heat wave, but to us
That's pretty cold.
Yeah. I mean, it was in the morning. We had hunted that night, and so we had left our bows in the tree. I remember getting up in the tree, seeing ice on my bow, and I was like, what am I doing? But I was like, I'm going to get this buck. And I was shivering so bad that Carson had to give me his coat. I was shaking so bad. But then...
Putting us to shame, Carson.
Hey, the more that she's going to talk, the more that she's going to realize she's like, gosh, I got a winner. Go ahead.
I love it.
But we came in there. I came in there to get this buck that it was consistent on trail camera. He was missing. He was just a half rack deer. He needed to be shot, just not good genes. But he was a really cool deer, something different. I love non-typicals. I'll take a typical any day, but I love non-typical deer. And so that's what we were in there for. Well, I don't know, maybe 2 hours into the hunt, Carson, he reaches over, because, we were beside each other in the tree. He reaches over and grabs my arm. And I was like, what is he doing? I mean, it was a death grip. I thought he was trying to push me out of the tree or something, honestly. But I looked over at him, and I heard him say, and I was like, what is going on? And here comes this huge, beautiful, beautiful buck that it wasn't a half rack deer. It was just a beautiful, mature buck. And I ended up shooting it, and the way the arrow looked, because filming can be very deceiving, it can make your arrow look like it didn't enter exactly where a good spot. So this was like it hit way too far back, and I probably lost the deer. He's all right. He'll make it another year. I was so depressed. Carson and our friends were like, let's just give it a few hours. Well, that was the longest few hours of my life. I was Googling everything. Like, what do I do when I hit a buck here? Da, da, da. we ended up going in there that afternoon about 1 or 2, and that buck, he fell about 45 yards away from the stand. He was stiff as a board. So I had hit him a little far back, but the arrow came out perfect, and it was beautiful. Then a few years later, there's a guy that we have on our pro staff, Josh. We ended up talking to him, and Carson ended up talking to him, and we were talking about our pack hunts and everything. And Josh started talking about this buck that he had on trail camera that this girl named Lindsay shot, and he didn't put 2 and 2 together that I was his wife. And so Carson started, and he was like, "Man, that was my wife," and he was like, "She shot my buck," and then like, "Gosh, I'm sorry I shot your buck, but I didn't see your name on it." I just, every time he comes to the house, I show him the mount on the wall. I'm like, you recognize that here, Joe?
I love it. I love it. So you said this really quickly, but it was a really important fact. You said you shot state record buck.
Yeah. So it's the state record non-typical for a female with a bow.
That is an amazing accomplishment.
Congratulations on that.
That spring she shot the state record turkey for a female with a bow.
Jeez. Man, hey Carson,
you got a bottle
earlier about how the more she talks, the more you're gonna look good. I'm starting to rethink that, buddy. I think Lindsay's the catcher.
She's the host. This is it. You're gonna be the camera guy.
If you ever need a good guide, I'm one. Okay.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I love it, man. No, that's absolutely amazing, man.
Speaking of cold, I was just going to say, I'm going to share this with you guys. This is one of the best parts about recording your hunts and be able to go back and remember them. But for me, when we talked about cold and cold hunts, this hunt here, this is on YouTube, but this hunt, I don't know if you guys remember Struther Archery, but back in the day when Struther was around, they invited me. They're from Michigan, and they invited me to come hunt what they call Strutherville. It's like 300 acres in the thumb of Michigan. And this was my second year in a row of going to this hunt with their marketing manager. And right now what you see is me at full draw for 5 minutes on a doe. and it's so cold. It is like 15 degrees. And because of the snow, you can see the snow all over the place. This is like the most ridiculous, like cold hunt that I feel like I ever remember doing. And yet it was just a doe, but like one of the best memories for me. And this is why I love the whole concept of filming your hunts, is to be able to have this, right? Because otherwise it's just me having this memory, not be able to share it with anybody. And then, after a long hold, this deer finally gives me a shot. I take it, whatever it runs. But I wanted to show you guys like what it looks like in Michigan when it's freaking freezing. And when the sun completely goes out, like right here, it is freaking it's probably like 13 degrees right here. And me not having that glove on hurts really bad.
Yeah, I love hunting a ground blind with a big buddy eater. I'm not gonna lie.
Nothing wrong with that.
Man,
so Carson,
oh,
go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, out of a ground blind is something you can't get a deer within 200 yards of a ground blind around here, unless you brush it in. It's amazing traveling the way deer react differently. But anyway, sorry, that's just
no. That is interesting because I pretty much exclusively have hunted Michigan, and I mean there's been a lot of times where there are 10-15 yards in front of my blind, and I'm just sitting there watching, and we're staring at each other, looking at each other, and a small doe or not a big enough buck, just waiting for the next one to come along, and that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so you're not going there, Tim.
No, I'm
big
not
buck for you, bro.
I'm not to be honest with you, like it sounds stupid, but I'm not a heights guy, man. I lost that a long time ago. I used to be up on 30-foot ladders and all that kind of stuff, but I just don't like it anymore. I'm good sitting on the ground with my heater. And
but would you be better if you were up 20 feet but yet seeing giant bucks within 20 yards?
Well, I mean, can I say no on this program? I mean, if I did, I don't think I'd be sitting here. But no, you're right in a way. but at the same time, I think part of it is the experience, and the experience for me, I love it. I don't know why I love sitting in the ground blind. Just me.
Yeah, because you just watch TV the whole time. Lame.
Listen, at least I don't play Fortnite, Dave.
Oh yeah, he said teed that one up.
Opened up that can of worms.
Thank God my camera's off.
He's probably playing right now. That's why his camera's off.
He probably is. Yeah. That's why his camera's off. Absolutely.
Look, they just dropped off too because they've had enough of Dave.
So Carson, we got Lindsay's most memorable. Do you share the most memorable, or do you have your own?
I would say for me, probably the funniest camp story we have, and something I'll never forget, is we were in Illinois, and it was the first time we'd ever been to this outfit, and the guy's super nice guy. We become really good friends, but he's just, those guys that are non-confrontational, just don't want to get anybody upset, And
with this group, no, I don't know that, but I can imagine.
Yeah. So he's super non-confrontational. He's like, look, guys, I'm gonna put you on this farm. It's you got 140 minimum farm beside you, 150 inch minimum farm on this other side. This is there's nothing but giants here. I was like, awesome. So we go into this farm, and one of the guys that used to be on the show went to a different stand. I went to one, obviously, and the stand they put him in, I'm riding through this place, man. It looks like a zoo. I mean, there's deer bedded on the side of the road. I was just like, good gosh, this is amazing. This is what dreams are about right here. So he said, listen, don't shoot anything under 130 inches, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, cool. So we're sitting there, and I get to my stand, and the outfitter looks at me. He's like, man, you've just got to trust me. I said, there is no way a deer's going to come through here. And it's running beside this giant river. It's called the Wabash River in Illinois. And I was watching guys bass fish right 40 yards from me, little finger of woods that they would have never come into. I was just like, God, this is going to be, whatever. It's our first day. So all of a sudden I get a text from my buddy, and one of the guys on the show, and he texts me, said, hey, man, I think I made a mistake. And I was like, oh, gosh, it's day one. He sends me the video of this deer, and it's like 110 inches. I said, we're in so much trouble. We're going to get kicked out of this outfitter. And he had a $1,000 fine. We're sitting there, and, I was just, 75 degrees. I was right about like, the one we just went through, hot and miserable. And I wasn't paying attention. My cameraman was sitting there, and we had a couple does come by. So he's over there filming them. And all of a sudden I hear a grunt and look up, and there's this buck coming through. And it's like, I see him. I see a good frame. I was like, oh, gosh, grab my bow. There's probably 3 or 4 little holes I could have shot through. And he's coming past us going after those does. And I haven't even taken the time to judge him. I just knew he had a good frame on him. I was going to shoot him. The hunter, the killer took over instead of the guy that's supposed to be judging and seeing how big the deer are. So anyway, this deer's going through my holes. I asked my cameraman, you on him? He didn't respond. You on him? Didn't respond. He goes to my last hole. I said, you on him? He said, yeah. Shot the deer. He runs out there in the field and dies. And as you know, if y'all been filming and everything, you go back and hear some of the stuff that doesn't make TV. But I said, is he down? And you can see him out there flopping around the field. I said, is he a good one? And my cameraman's like, and we're already freaking out about my buddy shooting this little bitty deer. I was like, is he a good one? He's like, I think so.
Nope.
And I said, oh gosh, we're both banned. So
yeah,
we fly down out of this tree, run over there, and the deer keeps growing, man. It was it's the opposite of what always happens to me. You hear ground shrinkage, it had ground growage. So it was amazing, but I'll never forget that hunt. So
that's awesome, man. That's a good one. Yeah. I think that's the thing, man, is just the memories that you guys, make through this whole process. Is that I love that you guys bring your passion to everybody. You bring your episodes to everybody and share what you guys love and how you do it and all that kind of stuff. But it is such a blessing, like you said, to be able to live it alongside being able to bring it to everybody on top of that. That's such an awesome thing.
Yeah.
I got one question. You guys mentioned bear hunting. You bear hunt in North Carolina?
Yeah, we bear hunt in North Carolina and in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep. The east coast of North Carolina actually has some of the biggest bear in the country.
Oh, is that those ones that eat the fish and stuff?
Yeah, well, they eat hogs and
They're
they
like
eat all the time.
Aren't they like monster size?
Like 800 pounds.
Yeah, I think 820 is the biggest one.
Wow.
820. So, yeah,
Have
they
you
get
ever shot a
several-
big one like that? A big one like that?
No. I'm not a trophy hunter. I just wait on broadside. So,
Yep.
I'm
Meat in the freezer, man.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Well, awesome. I love it. Really happy talking to you guys. You guys, we can't wait to see what you guys have coming up for 2021 and the new episodes that you guys have. Again, tell us again the platforms. You got Carbon TV, right? You guys are on Carbon TV too?
So some of our stuff actually we're not supposed to be on Carbon. But I think some of our older stuff is up there.
Okay.
Back when it was a show name, and I think they changed the show name, so I don't know what's going on there. But the most of it is Amazon Prime. Most recent stuff is Amazon Prime and Sportsman's Channel. We'll start airing again in January. We air third quarter and first quarter, and first quarter being January, February, and March. Sunday nights at 7:00 Eastern. So
Love it, man. I can't wait.